Some of my favorite semiconductor names are on fire here. It's an acknowledged bull market. Unlike the bull markets I talk about at the top, everybody knows this one, including Marvell Technologies, which makes chips for networking, communications, and storage. Think 5G, think data center. Here's a stock that surged from $16 at its March lows to around $43 now. More importantly, it's up nearly 61% year to date, making this one of the biggest COVID winners around. Stock we nailed from my charitable trust more than 100% ago. Marvell's got two big things going for it right now. The big 5G build-out, which is finally starting to hit its stride, and the possibility of a Biden administration ratcheting back the trade war with China. Now, the company just held its first investor day in 2 years, and they told a pretty bullish story. But do not take it from me. Let's check it in with a friend of the show, Matt Murphy, the president and CEO of Marvell Technology Group. Get a better sense of where his company's headed. Mr. Murphy, welcome back to Mad Money.
Hi, Jim. How are you? Great to see you.
Well, Matt, you really put on a great show, and I think that in a very informative deck, you made it very clear that your company is not the company of a couple years ago. In fact, your company is very much the company of the future. So I want you to tell our viewers exactly what's changed and how you are in the sweet spot.
Yeah, great, Jim, and thanks for having me on. I mean, it's been a incredible transformation journey that I've been fortunate to be involved here at Marvell. I think if you look back just a few years, even when I came on your show the first time, we were talking about, hard disk drives and storage and some of those key drivers. And now you fast forward to our analyst day today, and we, I think, told a very compelling story about our strong position in three of the hottest markets in the world, which is really 5G, data center and cloud, and automotive in the future. So really, I think the company's aligned to three key growth areas in a very large and growing available market. Just to give you a sense, we're in about $110 billion TAM today, of which we address about 20 billion of that with our current products. But in the future, we're driving multiple adjacencies to go after the whole 100 billion.
I want to go after and go over cloud and data center, but there's a company that you know well, NXP Semi, that tonight pre-announced a much better than expected quarter. Frankly, I see very big similarities in terms of what you're doing in automotive. Most people think automotive is a bad category to be in, but you know better.
Yeah, I mean, Jim, I actually have a lot of experience in automotive. At my prior company, I led the effort there, and that was really during the age of the infotainment revolution, when a lot of consumer devices and smartphone technology made its way into the vehicle. When I look out over the next 10 years, I am convinced the next big wave of demand for semiconductors and automotive is going to go to those companies with the data-centric IPs, companies that have processor capability, storage capability, advanced networking. And if you look at the cars of the future, and even today, we've got 24 car OEMs now using Marvell technology inside to do all of the complex networking and routing of the data inside the car. That's 24 car OEMs, Jim, 7 of which are in the top 10 auto manufacturers in the world. So while there are similarities between us and our friends at NXP, they're a very established existing supplier into automotive. Mm-hmm. Where the puck is headed is really where Marvell is going to shine, which is really when the data-centric technologies make their way into the cars of the future.
Oh, definitely. Now, last night, my wife and I were watching a program where you have a cord-cut TV with Roku, and the blue circle came on, and we're waiting, and she said, Layla, maybe I'll go up. You want a beer? I'll come back. It'll be on. And I said to her, you know what? One day this won't occur. One day it'll be instant on. Just like when you watch those ESPN sports highlights and you're waiting and waiting. That won't happen. 5G, right? That's 5G.
Absolutely. I mean, on 5G alone, the latency, which is really what you're talking about, is these delays, is improved by a factor of 20x over prior generations. And in trials that are already out there, the line rates of 5G are equivalent to those, in many cases, of wired infrastructure. And so whether that's in your handset, whether that's in your home, whether that's in your car, your enterprise, 5G is going to be extremely ubiquitous And that cycle that we have really all in front of us still, Jim. I mean, there's really only been one major geography in the world today that's deployed 5G, and that's Korea. The US is gearing up. China's in full swing. The Europeans are starting to talk about it. Obviously, when India goes, it's going to be very large. And then, of course, we have the upcoming Apple event, which is widely rumored to be the introduction of a 5G-enabled iPhone, which I think could drive a tremendous demand for these types of services and eliminate the blue spinning wheel that you mentioned.
All right, yeah, finally, maybe the biggest data center? Could be, right? I mean, we've seen an explosion this year in data center. We thought that we were in the 9th inning of the cloud, a lot of us. I don't know, I'm back thinking we're in the 2nd inning.
We're in the very early innings, Jim. I mean, 5G's in the early innings, and I think, obviously the work from home environment and all of the dynamics we've been going through during COVID-19 has really accelerated digital transformation. It's accelerated cord cutting. The demands on the cloud have been tremendous from consumers and businesses. I don't think that's going away anytime soon. When we talk to our cloud customers, they are talking about deploying massive amounts of infrastructure to support these growing demands. We're a key part of that, Jim. We have very specialized processing that we provide for the data center and the cloud. It's called a data processing unit, just like you have a CPU or a central processing unit or a GPU, like a general graphics processor unit. There's a new category called DPU, and that's for very data-centric, data-demanding applications. So that's one trend. And then the second in the cloud is, because of all this demand, the cloud customers themselves are starting to design their own silicon, and they need partners to work with them to enable all these new use cases and ultimately solve the bandwidth challenges that you're talking about. So I think overall cloud is certainly in the early innings, but I would say for Marvell, that's the next big growth driver for us behind 5G. And today at the Analyst Day, we articulated our strong view that cloud is at least as big an opportunity for Marvell, if not a larger opportunity for us in the future because of the bigger TAM that we're going after.
Well, I know. I mean, I was, when you have a double, like my Chapel Trust said, we were so tempted to take some off. I said, let's hear, He's got more ahead than any other semi I know. Maybe NVIDIA, you and NVIDIA, we'll give it that. I want to thank you, Matt Murphy, President and CEO of Marvell Technology. Congratulations on a great analyst meeting. People loved it. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Yeah, you take care.
We recommend stocks on the show that we have long-term view, not trading, okay? This is not just putting it in the lineup and taking it out the lineup like it's some sort of fantasy football. This is real. Matt Murphy's back after the break.